Righto, General Math students. In this video, we're going to go through the process of de-seasonalising data. You can see the steps here on the screen. We're going to go through each of these steps in turn. This is the data that we're de-seasonalising. This data for pizza shop sales. Now, there are lots of calculations here. I'm just going to show an example of the process at each stage, and then at several stages I'll get you to pause the video and complete the rest of those calculations, and then I'll show you what you should get, and you can cross-check to make sure that you're getting your calculations correct. So we're going to carry out step 1 for this on this table here, and that is to find the average of the data for each cycle. So in this case the cycles are weeks 1, 2 and 3, so there are 3 cycles. So we're going to average week 1 first. So we're going to take all of these scores here, add them up and divide that result by 7 to get the average. So let's do that. Oh, I want to start with the bracket actually. So I'm starting with a bracket because I want to include all the scores when I divide by 7 at the end. So important to do that if you're doing it this way. So getting all those scores. Okay, I'll close the bracket and divide by 7. If we don't have those brackets there, only the 95 will get divided by 7. The rest of the numbers won't. And so when we get that result, we'll go to 1 decimal place on all of these. We have 66.3 is our weekly average. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video now and work out the averages for the weeks 2 and 3. Okay, so I hope you've had enough time to pause the video. These are the results you should get for weeks 2 and 3. So the completed averages are in this table here. So 66.3 for week 1, 58.7 for week 2, and 53.7 in week 3. So there's step 1 completed, which is to find the average of the data for each cycle. Okay, so now we're going to move down to step 2, which is divide each of the initial data by the cycle average for that cycle. Okay, so that means we do this. So we're going to take this data, which is Monday of week 1, and we divide it by the weekly average, and then we put that result in that spot in the table I've just highlighted there. So to get that result, we have 42 divided by 66.3. Which gives us 0.633. So we'll go to 3 decimal places on these. Okay, so there's that calculation. Now I'll just do a couple more just to show you where which number we use for each one. All right, so next we're going to take the Tuesday's value and divide that also by 66.3. So all the week 1 scores get divided by 66.3. So 72 divided by 66.3, 1.086. Okay, so that was 72 divided by 66.3. So that was from there, and this score was from here. Okay, now when we move down to week 2, we divide by the cycle average for week 2. So this 38 will be divided by 58.7. So you might be able to start seeing this pattern now. So that one is 58.7 divided by, oh, beg your pardon, sorry, 38 divided by 58.7. Okay, so 0.647. So that goes there. And now, for the rest of week 2, we'll divide each of those scores by 58.7. Okay, so there's quite a few to do. I'll let you pause the video and see if you can calculate the rest of those scores now, and then I'll show you what the results should be. So go ahead and pause. Okay, so I'm going to pick up now, and we'll have a look at the results for step 2. Okay, so this is what we should be getting. Here they are. So you can see this little note down here is you might like to develop a spreadsheet to do this for some questions. You can imagine that this is a lot quicker in a spreadsheet. So it is important for us to learn this process to begin with, though, because we do need to carry this out on paper. So we'll continue. We'll go on with our data crunching. Okay, so we've completed steps 1 and 2. Okay, step 3, we're going to fill in this green box with the daily index for each day. So to do that, we average these 3 scores. So these 3 scores get averaged, and then these 3 scores get averaged, and so forth. So let's check what we should get for the daily index for Monday. I'm going to add those 3 results up, those 0.634 plus 0.647 plus 0.596, and divide by 3 because there are 3 scores in that set. And 3 decimal places, we've got 0.626. Alrighto. And just for the next one, we're going to add up these 3 scores. So this first set here, 0.634 plus 0.647 plus 0.596, and divide those all by 3 to get that value there. And this next one will be 1.806 plus 1.124 plus 1.154. Divide those by 3 to get that value. Okay, I'll let you do that one and the rest of the daily indices. So pause the video and carry out those calculations, then we'll pick up where we left off. Righto. So once you've completed that, these are the daily indices that we should have. So check those. I suppose at this stage you might just want to see if anything has gone amiss. Any calculations that are off, go and check those, recheck them, and make sure that you are having the same results as what I am. Okay, so we've done steps 1, 2, and 3. Now we're up to step 4, the final step. We're nearly there. We divide each of the initial data by the index for its season to achieve de-seasonalized results. Okay, so that means what we're going to be doing is taking this original data, so this score of 42 on this Monday of week 1, and we divide it by the daily index for Monday. So that result will go here in the table. So for this one, it's 42 divided by 0.626, which gives 67.1. We'll go to 1 decimal place on those. Okay, so for Tuesday, those Tuesday scores, oh well, by the way, we do each of these in turn, so each of the 38 and the 32 also get divided by 0.626, and then when we move on to Tuesday, we're going to divide each of these scores by this daily index and get each of the scores with the de-seasonalised data. Okay, so go ahead there and pause the video and work out the rest of the de-seasonalised data, then we'll pick it up. Righto, so let's see what we should get for our de-seasonalised data. Okay, so there they are to 1 decimal place, the rest of those. So just check those. Fix up anything that you need to. So we've completed the process of de-seasonalising the data. In the table down below that, we've just got those values rounded to the nearest whole number, as you can see, just to make the graphing of this a little simpler or a little easier. So we're going to graph this now, this de-seasonalised data, and that's the original data that we can see there. And often in these situations, you're asked to graph the de-seasonalised data on top of or alongside of the original data on the same set of axes or the same grid. Okay, so these ones we don't need to be surgically accurate, but I'm going to plot this 67, and I can say that's 65 right there. So just above that, 67 can go there, and then Tuesday 64. Now I'm going to continue this process, but you might want to pause the video and get a bit of a head start on me, and then check if you get the same graph as I do afterwards. So I'll give you a chance to pause the video and do this on your own, then I'll complete the process. Okay, so I'll continue. I haven't prepared one of these earlier, so I'm just going to go on with this. 63, 77, and then 66. So you can see I'm not worrying too much, just as long as it's in the right, generally in the right spot. So now I'm on to the Monday of week 1. That's the 61 there. So I'm just putting them all in order. 59 goes there. I've just done that one. Then back up 63, 54, about here. Oops, not quite, a bit lower there. 54, right on 60 for this one. So as I get further from this axis, you can see that it's a little trickier to line up, but just take your time. 56. Okay, now I'm into week 3, so I'm going to plot this 51, 55, 52, 49, just dip a little below the 50 there, just make sure it's lined up. Yep, close enough. 49, 53, 54, and then the lucky last is 56. Okay, so I'll just double check to make sure I've got everything in the right sort of spots. Yep, that looks okay. And then this is one of these line graphs, so we join these up. Just have another go at that one. Probably good to use a ruler for this one. Not so easy on the computer to do that with the ruler, so I'll just try and keep it straight. And nearly there. And there is the de-seasonalised data with a red line plotted on top of that. Righto, so go ahead and check the description for the video. Try some of these questions and make sure that you can master this process of de-seasonalising this data. Thanks for watching.